Okay, I get it. My goodness, can you just calm yourself down? You know what? I feel like I need to do something. Was something that Spinal did, but, you know, that wasn't the oh wait, oh yeah, I remember correctly. It was Touhou Memories of Phantasm. Yeah, the Touhou anime before Summer's Daydream. But, if I remember of what he said from Touhou Summer's Daydream, he said this, just to make sure. So let's know if I went more time.
If you're going to make a video on Touhou Summer's Daydream, don't go leeching off of me. Go and make your own original video.
Alright, I get it. Okay, and this time I'm doing Memories of Phantasm. But this time, we're doing it Thanos style because fine then. I guess I'll be doing it myself. But notifying, this time, I'm gonna do something more interesting here. Because compared to Spinosaur's review, which I will be mentioning it in another time, he has a bit of a changed opinion about his reviews of those videos. But I'm not here to talk about those reviews, of course. I'm just only mentioning this intro just because this time I'm not going to be talking about footage from his video, but instead, try my best to get the footage. Well, fortunately, for Touhou Memories of Phantasm, this one's much more easier since there's way more time to get footage of each of the episodes. So, how we're going to be starting this is to do this as not as in like a whole rush through, but instead, we are going to be doing this in different parts. Yeah, that should be something better to talk about. So, we're going to start it off. So nonetheless, here we go. Touhou's Memories of Phantasm was made by Macpoo Swine Official Magic Pooch. Yeah, to be honest, I probably butchered that name badly. Of course, I think for new Touhou fans, they most likely know about this fan anime. And if you remember though, the actual original videos don't have any dubs at all, which is kind of interesting. So, many fans made their own fan dubs for each of the episodes. But it's mostly Japanese dubs or Japanese dubs with English subs. But for this occasion, I'm going to do a pro gamer move and do an English dub, so you have a better understanding. We're going to start out just like we've shown before with none other than episode 1. But only episode 1 since we're going to go through each one as in game series. In this case, Touhou 7 Perfect Cherry Blossom, which was actually the first Touhou game I ever played. So, it's going to be interesting to see how this does because I actually played the game and not just, oh, I just did this and just reviewed it. So, because of how the plot goes, I'm going to be doing it from my perspective, from my playthrough of beating the game. Because yes, I beat it and got the good ending for this route. And yes, it was easy mode. Hey, compared to Touhou 17, Touhou 7 was way harder to complete on easy mode. Don't say it was easy, it was pretty hard. Again, this is a person who played challenging stuff before. And I mean really challenging stuff on video games before on my consoles. So, don't give me that excuse of it was easy mode. It was the equivalent of hard mode for me. My goodness, I actually want to know how lunatic players ended up getting this on that difficulty. Like, that must be a nightmare on its own, because you have to memorize every single pattern from the back of your head. But anyways, let's just proceed.
Miss Yuyuko, everything is going as planned.
Let us start in this dark, forsaken land. The banquet of ghosts.
With the beginning of the Touhou spring incident, and Touhou decided to go on the what's happening this time, and with all the petals vanish in throughout Tokyo. Of course, for the Touhou anime, this is going to be explained a bit more on its own part, but it also plays with this story in one of the themes from Touhou Mountain of Faith for the intro. And I have to say, this is probably nostalgic to me because I think it's a great rendition of the theme. I'm not playing it simply because it's technically out of place for the Touhou game, so instead, we're gonna play off something pretty cool instead. That being this theme. Yep. I'm telling you, this for the game-wise, this is actually kind of a little bit nostalgic. Alright, enough of the calm music, let's actually get to the story right now. So the story starts off with Melissa catching Chono and bringing it to Reimu.
Reimu! I've got an ice fairy, see?
Oh, hello, Marissa. Yeah, those fairies get too excited if you let your guard down. Okay, shut the door. You're letting all the cold in.
Look! It's snowing in spring! Now it's full of ice fairies and yokai! Take a look! The weather is weird!
Well, I did hear spring was coming late.
No way! This has got to be a yokai culprit's doing. Isn't that a Hakure Shrine Maiden's job to resolve incidents? Well, fine! In that case, I'll get rid of the yokai myself! You better have prepared your— I'm so sorry, Marisa! Get her after all after this! Dummy, 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 dummy! Ah!
Well, this is for the dub anyways. The sequence of Melissa, so before she leaves, is kind of a little bit off, but that's more of a dub inside compared to the plot. But the only flaw here from the experience was Chono was actually the stage 1 boss, but they were at the shrine. So like, I mean, I know Melissa's actually pretty fast in the games, but how would she just grab Chono and assume it's so? And also, yes, though in my time, there was something sort of like that, but at least it only lasted for one day while snow sewed up in spring. I actually do want to know if anyone else had that issue. But nonetheless, proceeding on with the good old title screen card for the episode. Yeah. The ordinary magician, or how I learned to stop roaring and love the Kusutsu. Yeah, to my knowledge, I actually don't know over the last part evil. Maybe it's some sort of plant. Or maybe it's something that's gonna lose my mind. And, well, anyways, we then proceed with Melissa trying to get some information for the incident. And she ends up meeting, I think Letty Whiterock is the first boss. So she meets that and she, well, you see, beats so faster than Kirby could beat Kabula in the games.
Phew.
Aya sews up in this part, but it's mostly just for sequences for each of the characters that appeared. So I'll just briefly get through them because I'll be slightly mentioning a bit more on this side, since I at least have a bit of knowledge for this story in particular. Starts off with Melissa chasing against Chen, which, I mean, it was alright, even though they were outside in the main games, which then proceeds to the account of Alice, which, no, we're not talking about Melissa and Soul Depresses thing. but of course Alice began to interrogate her. And after getting enough info, Marissa then finally found the portal to go to the Netherworld, which is up around the portals, with a powerful burial. But not gonna lie, during the time when she sees the barrier and wanted to know how to get crossed through it, she literally assumed it was open sesame. Like, that's literally what she said. And the Prisoner Rival Sisters is like, nah, that ain't gonna look, kid. I have to admit that was actually kind of funny in the game. With one of the more cheesier lines from Marissa, but anyways, I mean, it's a bit of an, oh, you ever want to cause spring? Oh, you're gonna die, or something like that. But I have to admit, the open sesame sequence in the game was actually kind of funny. I wish they mentioned that line now, but since it was a one episode that they just wanted to skip through Perfect Cherry Blossom, it's kind of unfortunate because they could have mentioned a bit more about Atlas. It's his part, since it was her first return since the PC-98 games, and a few other things. But we'll get to it a little bit more detail as soon as she gets to the Netherworld and then encounters Yomu. After totally not encountering Snake Ray from Dragon Ball Z, totally not, it's in a world, she says this.
Good freaking grief.
Hey look, Marissa said the JoJo line in English. I think the Japanese one was probably better, to be honest. Oh, hey, I was just joking about it. It was actually pretty fine. With this eventually leads against the battle with Marissa versus Yomu.
This is the Netherworld, a place where ghosts sleep. Human who still retains life, return to your own world, at haste.
Give it up, half-breed! I know what you guys are up to! So just give us back our spring. Oh, and if you want to resist, go ahead. I love challenges.
To imagine a human could say such a thing. You can't be the Hakurei Shrine Maiden. Who might you be?
I'm Kirisame Marisa, an ordinary magician!
The downside of the battle is basically pulls off the Jurassic Park 3 treatment by having the battle cut a bit too short. I mean, I know during Yomu's final spell card, the Master Spark does massive damage, but still, it could be maybe a slightly bit longer without but at least the fight wasn't skipped. I mean, this is but again, this is a fan-made anime, not the first one. I mean, if that Sweat Bell wasn't enough, I guess this would be a better way to explain it. With that, Marissa decides to then trying to find out the boss that caused the incident, which was Yuko, and in this case, he just shows up right after being Yomu, which is fair enough because Stage 6 ended up going like that.
My. You're not the Hakurei Shrine Maiden, are you?
I'm tired of hearing that line, Zay!
Oh look, it's the Zay line! Yeah. Okay, but yeah, we get to the breakaway point where Sakia talks when we move at, and for Hakurei's goal is to resolve incidents and exclamate Kai, right? So, because of how it's meant to be keeping balance. As all things should be. But that balance can't be held with just Marissa herself, it's mostly Reimu's job. Because, to be honest, you just have to deal with it sometimes. Sometimes they may not like it, but in the end, just get it done. It's actually something that I learned in myself in general. I'm just not mentioning it because it's not a part of the official story. But nonetheless, we get to the face-off between Marissa and Yuko. and pay very close attention to what Marissa says, as of why she wants the spring back.
Hey, Ghost! Get rid of the snow! I can't even go flower viewing! Give us our spring back, or I'll take it by force! European!
That's right. Marissa wanted to resolve the incident all because he wanted to see the flower viewing. No, literally, that's the official part of Marissa's storyline for Perfect Cherry Blossom. She wants spring back just to see the flower viewing. That's right. Wait, this entire time, Marissa just wanted to see the flowers in spring. Which, I mean, it's a more notified line if you see, a Senate Touhou video. I think it was like the time in the Touhou series, but it's still kind of a little bit funny to me, to be honest. He just did this just because he wanted to see some flowers bloom. But hilariousness aside, we get to the infamous face-off between Marissa and Yuko.
Talk later.
Of course, you may be wondering why I was silent the whole time during that sequence. Well, two things. One is to get the tone of the final boss theme, and the second is the aftermath to explain that. So, Marissa, or Weimu, depending on which one, or even Saki, but in the games, fights Yuko, and eventually, after enough hard work, and maybe even trial and error sometimes, you finally defeat her. For Marissa's parts, he actually called her a corpse girl or something like that in the dubbed variation. Since, to be fair enough, to be honest, Touhou is more like, since Touhou is a Japanese video game franchise, I feel like it's fair to say that the English stubs would be comparing English stub to English stubs, or more like English subs for Japanese games. But you get the idea. So, but yeah, the flow of viewing is actually the main reason why Marissa did the incident. In this sequence, Quincy was having a bit of a difficult time. She even got distracted by one of her bullet patterns, which is a main thing about the Touhou games in general, since each character normally have like pretty vibrant color displays for each character. So, just try to focus on your character more than the bullets themselves, because colorful bullets can easily be a distract for the game. And the Phantasm may also Weimu decide to sew up just in time to save Marissa, and also, so they both defeated in the end, and together. The only reason I'm not going to sew the end credit scene is more of just Weimu and Marissa cannot, that the incident was over, but the reason why she didn't want to do it was because in a party with all types would come up and mess up with all souls. And of course, with Melissa being right that, you know, it was an incident and caused by Yoke, I call it so. Over the fact that this is why we didn't want to do the incidents to begin with. I don't have all time to go through the entirety of this, but one thing I do need to make clear though is it's completely different to the actual ending. This is Melissa B, but I'm not selling the ending since I'll probably get struck down by soon in the creative self, so instead, allow me to recapitulate it with words, since it's always better to say it in words than, well, with actual vocal problems with someone else, or footage, since we normally can explain it better with the explanation like that. So, here you go. Spring was drawing to a close at the Hakuriko in the end. The Sagagori Akatsuki bloomed it, but not fully. The Never-Willed Flower Viewing Feast was held with a graceful success, as it was every year. Every time, after these feasts, I'm stuck with cleanup duty. Should I rebel? Whoa, what a filthy garden. I came all the way here just to see this too. We are closed. As I promised, I'm able to follow viewings, eh? Promised? Since when did you two become ghosts? Oh, it's easy enough. I just can't come here without dying. Yeah? But there's a burial. It disappeared as soon as Reimu touched it. So don't touch it. That applies especially to people like her. Yeah? Have you finished up cleaning yet? Yomu, finish cleaning as soon as possible. We have some honored guests today. Guests? You don't mean us, of course. Believe it. Ah, you're already here. Welcome to the place of death and cherry blossoms. It's nice to be invited, but I didn't want to be invited by ghosts. Anyways, Yomu, we're hosting a flower viewing feast today. Finish up cleaning already. Oh yes, I invited the Prison Weevil sisters as well. I brought some Tsukakugo cake. Come on, we'll be celebrating all night long, eh? Wow, excellent. That's as good as being revived. You don't say. No duty is emptier than cleaning up after a feast. That, however, it's merely a sign that the feast was very enjoyable. This is why, though, cleanup duty feels futile to Yomu. She finds it reassuring. This is why scripts aren't easy to make, I guess, but anyways, yeah. After trial and error, we finally did it. Episode 1 is completed. However, don't expect an episode 2 anytime soon, because in that case, it'll be way more longer and probably much more to explain. And besides, I would have to play Touhou and Botany of Scarlet Devil and have to complete that game and get at least a good ending. And that one requires normal mode just to get the ending, so yeah, that's gonna be pretty fun. So if you really want me to continue this as a part 2, tell me in the comments below if you want me to continue this. I say this was alright, to be honest, but I want to see your feedback about it to make sure I got all the details right, or at least the ending of how it's different to the fan anime. No, seriously, I decided to add that in just because, hey, this was the first Touhou ending I got besides the spin-off games. I think this was a part of its own time. And remember, Marissa did this all because he wanted a flower viewing. Anyways, I'll see you guys next time.